This one. This one. No, I mean that to write that one note. Yeah. Okay. No, there is only one image. Where? Okay. Good evening, everybody. Online students, is it audible? Is it audible? Please respond. Is it audible, visible? Please let me know. Okay. Let us discuss World War II today.
We all know it is the deadliest conflict that ever occurred on the planet Earth, and lot of people died, and so much destruction took place. Almost more than 1.5 crore people lost their lives, and actually this war ravaged the whole planet for 6 years, from 1939 to 45, almost all 6 years. So even those countries who were actively involved in the war never thought that this war would escalate into a full blown World War to 6 years. They thought they could manage to win some territories quickly, and then they can wrap up the war. That is what they thought, Hitler and everybody else who are involved. But slowly it has escalated, snowball into such a very big war for 6 years of a duration, which was very unprecedented. And it even involved some of the countries like USA, which were not interested, and countries like India. Think about India's predicament at the time. India was under British rule, was not interested in war, but India has to send almost 2 million people, that means 20 lakh people at that time, 20 lakh people. That was really unprecedented thing, and you have to fight war on behalf of British people. Maybe you have to lose your life, not for your country, but the country which colonized you, which was very strange predicament for Indian soldiers. Now, as usual, just like first war, we will be discussing challenges for what are the causes for World War, and then the events, then outcomes of the World War. But I would like to discuss actually events first, just like a story. We will discuss a brief story, then we will discuss causes of World War, then later outcomes, impact of World War, what really happened, all that treaties and everything. So, let me discuss very briefly what really happened in World War. We all know that when we talk about First World War or Second World War, it is Germany, the principal belligerent or principal combatant or aggressor. Then this time along with Italy. Okay? Italy. What was the third country? Japan. What we know, Japan, it was totally different at that time. Japan, like Germany, Great Britain, was very much interested in imperialistic motives to expand all that Pacific Ocean area, East Pacific Ocean area. They wanted to expand all that, including China. Today's China is so formidable and strong country. You can't even imagine Japan attacking China single. But at that time, Japan had colonies. China was, although a big country, was going through civil war, and Japan took advantage of that civil war, then attacked a place known as Manchuria. It all happened before 1931. The seeds were sown, the foundation was laid even before 1939, before war started. Hitler made his intentions clear. He has done something which was important for triggering World War, and also Japan. But try to understand the weak link of these three countries is Italy. Italy was ruled by a dictator known as Mussolini. He was the one who started this fascism. Okay. In Germany, it was Nazism. Okay. These are all right wing, extreme, ultra nationalisms. If you ask what is fascism, Nazism, fascism, this is ultra nationalism. See, you love your country, that is okay, nationalism or patriotism. But if you want to expand your territory, if you want to say yours is the only superior country, just like Hitler, he said, what we call it, Aryan theory. He said those Germans with blonde hair, okay, white blonde hair people were like Aryans. The rest of the citizens were not Aryans, they were superior citizens in comparison to others. And that sort of ultra nationalism is not good. So, it is one sort of ultra nationalism, that is also another sort of ultra nationalism. You can add one more term to it, that is like a right wing ultra nationalism. So, Japan also had that imperialism. Okay. They had one Hirohito, that was emperor's name. Emperor at that time was Hirohito, and then Mussolini here, then Hitler there. These three countries had separate alliances, pacts. We call it Axis. What is that? Axis. So, remember, same countries earlier, that means Germany had alliances in First World War, that is Turkey and Austria-Hungary. Italy was not there. Italy was supposed to be part of it, but it did not join. Those countries were known as central powers at that time, central alliances or powers. Now, they are known as Axis powers or Axis alliances. So, what is the opposite alliance? That is allied powers. Allied, you know, US, USSR, Britain, France, to some extent China also, to some extent China also. But if you see, Britain and France were always default countries in world wars. The reason is US and USSR, they joined war a little bit late, they had their own reasons. Okay. But Britain and France, whether it was First World War or Second World War, they were very much there right from the beginning. So, they lost so much during world wars. They were also very important causes for world war. In one way or other, Britain and France also important countries. Important countries means they have triggered the world war in a different way. We will discuss that. Okay. You try to understand here this Germany. Okay. First of all, I would like to just discuss it in a way, just like a story, 15-20 minutes, then I will go into details of the causes, events, outcomes, all that. So, you see, this is the country Germany, and then we have France here, okay, and then we have Great Britain here, and then after Poland you have USSR, after Poland USSR. Okay. So, first of all, Germany, what they did is, before starting World War, they did something which triggered World War II. Those are this area known as Rhineland. Rhineland. What is this? Rhineland. Okay. And they have something known as Sudetenland. Sudetenland. Germany always had an eye on Poland as well as Czechoslovakia, and then we have Hungary here. Actually, to be honest, this is really brutal from Hitler point of view. The reason is, Hungary was very much important ally, important partner for Germany in First World War. Okay. But you know, Germany just annexed Hungary very fast, easily, and Hungary people were also, Hungary means here Austrian Hungary, both Austria and main Austria, instead of Hungary, try to understand Austria, leave Hungary, Austria, because Austro-Hungary Habsburg Empire in First World War, they were partners for Germany, and he annexed Austria very easily. People did not resist, they were happy to be part of Germany. So, there was no war, no bloodshed, no bombing, easily annexed. And second thing is, he actually wanted to reoccupy this land, Rhineland. Rhineland was part of Germany, but after World War I, France asked Rhineland. The reason is, it is the border for France. People were suspicious of Germany. They said, particularly France said, this area must be demilitarized, completely demilitarized. There should not be any land, and Germany should go out of this land, because they were expecting some sort of world war like a situation or any kind of a war. So, it was part of Versailles Treaty. After World War I, Versailles Treaty took place. You know, Germany lost lot of territories, it was demilitarized, and was asked to pay reparations. Okay? All these things took place in Versailles Treaty, and Versailles Treaty is another important reason for World War II. Versailles Treaty took place after World War I, and many people, including France and Great Britain, they think that that treaty was bit harsh on Germans. It was true. So, that treaty, or you can call it World War, was responsible for Second World War. World War I is responsible for Second World War, because treaty took place because of World War I. So, World War I or Versailles Treaty is important for the World War II. So, now he was always, wanted to occupy this land, and this Sudeten land from Czechoslovakia. Okay. So, now what happened when Hitler was trying to, when he came to power in 1933, he started we call it a remilitarizing. He strengthened his military, and he actually started building military and then trying to attack neighbors, particularly he occupied this. Then France and Great Britain were very indifferent, they were not responding. This is another reason we will discuss causes of World War II. We call it policy of appeasement, policy of appeasement. Try to understand one thing, Great Britain and France were particularly very indifferent, quiet to the aggression of Germany before World War started 1939. They were quiet. Another reason is they wanted Germany to grow as a big power. What is the reason? Great Britain and France were very much unhappy or suspicious of USSR and its communalism. Communalism was like a scary thing for most of the nations. They thought communalism would spread far and wide of the country, world, which is not good for a whole world. That's what they thought. So, why did they, what is the reason for that? The reason is France and Great Britain wanted Germany as a buffer between USSR and these European countries, particularly France and Great Britain. They wanted another powerful country between them. If Germany is weak country, he can defeat Germany country, who USSR, then they may come for Britain and France. For that reason, France and Great Britain were very quiet, indifferent. In a way, they tried to appease Hitler, and he took advantage of that. So, he has grown from strength to strength. So, that is a problem. This is all known as policy of appeasement. So, they were very quiet. He took this land, Rhine land, and then he wanted this Sudeten land. That is part of Czechoslovakia. You see, Czechoslovakia, particularly Sudeten land, there were Germans. Some Germans were there, German speaking people, German nationals. So, he wanted to occupy that part of the land. Then you know what happened? You call this Munich Pact. Then France and Britain said, whatever happened, you take that Sudeten land, but you please stop with that. Don't have further claims on the rest of the country, Czechoslovakia. He said, okay. Hitler is not only a brutal person, he is the most cunning person. We think he is very aggressive, courageous. He made so many pacts, he made so many promises. He never delivered on them. He never, stuck to those promises. That was the biggest problem, which people never thought he would do that. So, that is why Czechoslovakia, he said, I will not claim further in Czechoslovakia. But when he started, after that, he occupied whole Czechoslovakia. He did not follow his promise. Then Poland. As I told you, the situation of Poland is very pathetic, whether before World War, during World War or after World War, particularly during and before. You know, when Hitler from 1933 to 1939, Hitler came to power in 1933 and he started war 1939. How many years? 6 years. In a matter of 6 years, Hitler prepared this country for a World War. That is unbelievable thing. The reason is Germany was going through a big financial crisis. The whole world was going through financial crisis. You know, when Germany paid its debt to France in 2010, can you believe that? In World War I, they were asked to pay $6,600 million, and World War II again, a lot of things, reparations had to be paid. Now, they paid it up to 2010, and this guy, in a matter of 6 years, economy was not good, employment was not there, everything was in disarray, so much political chaos, but with the sole aim of waging war, he prepared the country and he started this war. And the way he occupied many countries was really unbelievable. He occupied so many countries. And then you see, I was talking about Poland. Poland is a sandwiched between Russia and Germany. So, here you have Russia. At that time, Russia was so big country until 1991, until it disintegrated. There are 15 other countries part of Russia. All this Ukraine, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan. Okay, so even Lithuania, all these countries were part of Latvia, all this part of Russia. So that was a very big country. You see what happened? Germany and Russia had a pact. They call it non-aggression pact. What is that? Non-aggression pact. Non-aggression pact. You see, Fija Siddiqui, see, you can only interact through the chat. So, any doubts, please let me know. I will try to respond to your queries. Do teachers talk to them, because they cannot answer, they can only chat in box. Okay. So, Fija Siddiqui, you are free to ask your doubts. Let me know. I am waiting here. Okay. So, USSR, Germany and USSR had always thought of occupying Poland. So, you know, Poland was sandwiched between USSR as well as Germany. So, you try to understand here, they had a pact, non-aggression pact. The name of the pact is Molotov-Ribbentrop, okay, Ribbentrop Pact. So, Molotov is a Russian foreign minister, Ribbentrop was a USSR foreign minister. So, according to this pact, what they did is, it is very interesting here, you see, German people, I mean Hitler said, I will occupy Poland, you do not have to, I mean resist USSR. Then they said, I will take this west part of Poland, you take east part of Poland. This is the pact. This is the pact between Russia and Germany. That means Russia, USSR was not interested in war in the beginning. They were actually supporting Germany. And you all know what happened. Actually, this guy, Germany, okay, after the end of the war, so you can call it the biggest part of World War II is, particularly war on land, was Operation Barbarossa. So, if you ask me in which battle many people died in World War II, Operation Barbarossa. German people, I mean Hitler, waged a war on Russia. That was his biggest mistake. Because he thought he wanted to occupy Russia before summer sets in, but USSR people resisted a lot. So, the war took place for a long time, so many years. Then the winter has set in. You know, great Napoleon did not want to invade Russia because of extreme weather conditions in Russia. Extreme weather conditions in Russia. So, this is what happened, and winter started, then German soldiers found it extremely difficult. So, they had to lose that war. So, Germany had a pact with the USSR in the beginning, and later he started a war against the USSR. So, he never followed his pacts or promises. That is one more problem. So, now the point is, as I told you, he occupied Rhineland, he occupied Sudetenland, then he started war first in Poland 1939. 1939. So, normally we say this is the reason, first important cause for World War II, but you can say all these things were also causes, but they all started before 1939 itself. So, another interesting thing you have to understand is, we do not have that map here, other one is there. Japan occupied Manchuria, that is a place in China. It is a place in China. That also happened before this 1939. So, somewhere in 1937 or in that period. So, the problem is that incident was also important reasons for this World War, along with the incidents. Now, what happened? Immediately after that, Germany occupied France. Germany occupied France. It is shocking thing. France is not a small country, so powerful country. Very easily he occupied France, and he ruled France for 4 years. Can you believe it? Germany occupied France and ruled it for 4 years. Okay? And then you see, he occupied Belgium, occupied Netherlands, and here you have these Baltic Sea countries, Lithuania, Latvia, Finland. He occupied those countries. He occupied Belgium, all these countries. So, while this is going on, you call it Central Europe and Western Europe, Central Europe, Western Europe. He was occupying all the countries, Finland, Norway, all those countries, Baltic countries, Scandinavian countries, all of them. On the other hand, parallelly, Japan was occupying China, it was attacking China, and all that Pacific islands like Taiwan, Singapore, Midway Islands, so many islands. And you have to understand one thing, Japan was more aggressive, it has killed more people, it has caused more war crimes, it committed more war crimes. Japan is such a great country, many people respect that, but at that time under the Emperor Hirohito, Japan was so cruel. It actually killed many people in China and Singapore, Taiwan, all that islands. Its aim was to occupy all that East Pacific area. That was going on. On the other hand, you see fascist, this Italy was trying to occupy African countries like North Africa, East African countries. But as I told you, the weakest country, that means from these three Axis powers, Italy was weakest. That is why it was not able to help these other countries, Japan as well as Germany. Okay. So, now the point is, now comes the biggest episode of war, that is Great Britain. That is Great Britain. You see, Great Britain never expected this sort of a big war. So, the day has come. Actually, the operation was a Sea Lion. Sea Lion. It was Sea Lion. This is the code given by Germany people. Why? We all know Great Britain is very strong nation from navy point of view. Okay. No country is as strong as Great Britain from navy point of view. They have many ships, their navy strength is very great. That is why they named it a Sea Lion. Not Great Britain people, Germany people were also in awe of a naval strength. But the point is, Germany did not use a navy here this time, they used a air force. You try to understand, in World War I, we had so many wars on land, like Tannenberg, Ypres, Marne, Somme, okay, Gallipoli. There were so many wars. But here, warfare has taken to different levels. That means, at that time in World War I, lot of trenches were dug, trenches. Okay, on the land, trenches were dug. So, soldiers used to hide there because most of the war was on land. But technology was not developed. Air force was not that great, navy was not that great. But in Second World War, so all the countries used air force very much. So, the land warfare was very much minimum. It was more about domination in the skies. So, it is a Royal Air Force versus Luftwaffe. What is that? Royal Air Force versus Luftwaffe. What is the name of German Air Force? Luftwaffe. Luftwaffe. So, Great Britain Air Force is a Royal Air Force. You believe it or not, Hitler attacked London and other big cities almost like 50 to 59 nights continuously. 50 to 59 nights continuously. They have bombarded particularly London. Never in the history of Great Britain, okay, any other country started attacking London directly. So, that was the, you try to understand one thing, another important term I would like to tell you, that is Blitzkrieg, B-L-I-Z-K-R-I-E-G, Blitzkrieg. So, this is the name given for the nature of a attack by Germany. What do you call that? Blitzkrieg means fighting or attacking opponents with lightning speed by surprising them, so that they could not respond in time. You understand? Online students, Fija, Siddiqui, are you aware of this Blitzkrieg? Blitzkrieg. Okay? So, lightning speed, attacking with lightning speed without giving much time for opponents to respond. So, this was Hitler's very important strategy. You try to understand here one thing, Hitler knows if he fights war longer period of time, there will be more countries to support, and the longer you fight, okay, the heavier you lose. You may have to lose a lot of soldiers, lot of arms and ammunition. It will be costly for him. That is why, that is another reason. One, surprise element, so that opponents cannot respond. The other thing is he wanted to wrap up the wars very fast. It would help him. So, that is okay, no problem. I am just asking. Blitzkrieg is the term given to that Hitler's method of combating, Blitzkrieg. So, now the point is, I was talking about Germany versus Great Britain, Royal Air Force versus Luftwaffe. Okay, 59 nights. 50 to 59 nights, London was bombarded, and Winston Churchill was actually first Chamberlain was Prime Minister, then Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister. Winston Churchill was so famous for his speeches during World War II. He was given Nobel Prize for his speeches, literature Nobel Prize for his speeches. He was very much against India, but the way he has led World War II, people appreciated him. The reason is that was very crucial time. At that time, Great Britain was world #1 country with so many colonies. So, if they lose that battle, it is an embarrassment. The whole world would lose their confidence. That is the problem. And one more thing is, Great Britain was a little bit quiet when Hitler was bombing, because they were trying to take their own time, build their air force. Very interestingly, they withstood the bombing of Hitler, Luftwaffe, and then what happened? They retaliated. And then Churchill said in one of his statements that whole this Great Britain owes to Air Force, Royal Air Force. Because of Air Force, Great Britain survived that battle. Otherwise, if he had occupied, things would have been different. Who knows, he might have won World War. Because Great Britain was such an important partner at that time, their presence is very important. Of course, USA made the difference, but they needed the support of other countries. So, because France is already occupied, so Great Britain is very important for a World War point of view. So, they withstood that Blitzkrieg, withstood that bombing, and then they retaliated. Germans were sent back. That was a great thing. Operation Sea Lion of Germany was not successful. Great Britain attacked, fought that war very bravely. So, that was a great thing. Now, the point is, who was he going to attack? Okay. On the other hand, here in Italy, his own country people are not interested in fascism. That Benito Mussolini was a cruel person, he was incompetent person, he was even a big burden for Axis powers, Germany as well as Japan. Germany for Japan, he was the weakest link. So, what happened after some days? Those people, emperor in Italy changes that person, Benito Mussolini. But before that happens, we need to understand a few more things. Now, what happens is, here we do not have a Japan here. Japan makes a very big mistake. Japan makes a very big mistake. What they do is, when they were attacking all South, Pacific, East Pacific islands, USA was not interested. The reason is, USA is very close. Do you understand? USA is not, it may be here, it is like a globe. Japan is little bit 3000 kilometers from USA, and USA has Hawaiian Islands. They have very big harbor there, Pearl Harbor. It is known as a Pearl Harbor. You can watch that movie also. Name of the movie is Pearl Harbor. So, what happened is USA so far, you know what was happening with USA? USA was just selling oil, arms, ammunition. It was making money out of World War. USA was not participating, it was selling all the to Western countries, oil and arms and ammunition. So, that was the problem. Now, Japan, when it was occupying all the Pacific islands, USA just made an embargo. Embargo means they do not want to sell oil to them, or they do not want to take any imports from them, some sort of a embargo. So, there it all started, okay, some sort of enmity between Japan and America. And then very interestingly, nobody was aware of it, it's with lightning speed, Germany was able to attack Pearl Harbor, US Pearl Harbor. So, these are biggest events in world history, I mean World War II, just like war between German and Great Britain. This Pearl Harbor incident was such an turning point. Because of that, USA has to enter World War. More than 2000 people died, okay, lot of ships were damaged, and USA was so angry, and immediately it entered World War. You all know what happens when USA enters. Same thing happened in World War I. When they enter, they make the difference. They make the difference. So, this is what happened. Now, USA entered, and what they did is, you know, France was occupied for 4 years. This was biggest operation. This is known as Overlord, Operation Overlord, Operation Overlord. That means France needs to be rescued, all the allies. This was the biggest operation, amphibious operation. That means both the sea as well as air. That means lot of aeroplanes came, and then so many soldiers, almost all 1,50,000 soldiers, 5,000 ships, so many paratroops. Okay? So, it was very big, because all allies, USA, okay, then Great Britain, many countries, they joined, they made this operation, very huge one, in a place known as Normandy. What is that? Normandy. So, there are 5 beaches in that area. So, all the forces, 1,50,000 people, they all just landed in those beaches. It was such a big operation at that time, okay. And you know, there was no chance for German, its allies, okay. Hitler had some sort of puppet government there in France at that time, because he occupied that. But now, these people rescued France, they have freed France from Germany. It is also one of the biggest events of World War II, Normandy rescue operation, or you call it Operation Overlord. Okay. So, now USA wants to concentrate on Japan. Okay. So, all that Midway Islands, okay, Singapore, Taiwan, so many islands, okay, all that islands were freed by America and its allies, one by one, they have freed all those islands in Pacific Ocean. This is what happened with them. So, another biggest incident here is, we need to understand here, Germany and its biggest blunder. It is like a Himalayan blunder of that World War II. Okay. Operation Barbarossa. Operation Barbarossa. This is to attack Russia. I have already told you the biggest mistake is he wanted to just occupy Russia. Russia was so big country, so big country. It's not that Hitler did not know it, but somewhere that overconfidence was there, you know, overconfidence was there. And then, and one more thing is, Germany thought USSR would never expect Germany to attack, because they had that non-aggression Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. So he thought he would occupy that country before winter, but they resisted for a long time, and then winters had set in. So the warfare became very tough for them, and then we all know, first he entered Leningrad, then later Stalingrad. Almost all he was trying to touch Moscow, within the outskirts of Moscow. Then what happened? Stalin was able to, drive his soldiers. It was very big battle. So many people lost lives in that battle. Number of lives lost in that war is more than any other event of this World War II. Then somehow Soviet Union, USSR was able to send these troops back. They straight away came to Berlin. Okay, they have chased them to Berlin. Who? USSR people. And then we all know that this guy Hitler, he just gave that position to his deputy. His name is Goebbels. Okay, he was number 2. So he said, you take care of this battle like that. Even before he was dying, he was not dying peacefully. He was giving that position to somebody else. Yes, you continue this war. I am committing suicide. So he committed suicide. But the point is, he also committed suicide, that Goebbels, after Hitler. So Germany was surrendered. But now Japan is still fighting. Japan is still fighting. So now America has sent warning to Japan, Mr. Japan, you please surrender, otherwise there will be lot of bloodshed. They said, we do not care. Japan was so aggressive at that time, you cannot believe that. So they did not care. You know, the reason why America sent is, you know, they have that atomic bomb. It was never used in the history, which was used on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Short man and fat man, little man and a fat man. These are the two bombs. So they were actually giving warnings. Japan did not listen to them. Then what happened is, so there was a carrier name, that aeroplane name, Enola Gay. Bombs, short man and a little man and a fat man. These two bombs, they have dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So more than 1 lakh people died in both the cities. Even till now, you see the effects of those bombs, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So you can see that these 4 events are very important. What is that? The Air Force war between Germany and Japan, that is Sea Lion, Operation Sea Lion, and freeing France from Germany, Normandy war, Operation Overlord. Then Operation Barbarossa, Germany attacking Russia and then getting being defeated by them. Then next one, 4th one is Pearl Harbor attack by Japan. That is, then 5th one is US attacking Hiroshima and Nagasaki cities of Japan. That is a biggest one, because atomic bomb was never used. And people say that that's Einstein. Einstein was also one of the Jews. You know, Hitler persecuted them. Yeah, Chandramohan, that's correct. Little boy. Yeah, not short boy, little boy, fat man. Yeah, thank you for that. So it was little boy and a fat man. So this is what happened. Actually, then Einstein was in a project named as Manhattan Project. Manhattan Project. That project was to make a atom bomb. And this is what happened, and then that atom bomb was dropped on those cities. Okay. So now this is briefly the war theater and Pacific War, as well as Middle Europe, Central Europe, and then Atlantic Ocean war theater, all this. Now let us get into the details of okay, how did World War begin? So we have already discussed that. Now if I had taught any topic earlier, I don't like to go into details, otherwise I would like to delve deep into it. So we know first Poland was attacked in 1939, that was the immediate cause. At that time British Prime Minister was Chamberlain, later it was Winston Churchill. And then America's president was Roosevelt. America's president was Roosevelt at that time. Okay. Then who started World War II? So see, I told you already the World War started in 1939, but there are so many incidents that has triggered World War II. For example, they were saying Marco Polo bridge incident. Okay, already Manchuria attack happened. Japan attacked Manchuria in China, and the another incident, very small incident, freakish incident, Marco Polo bridge incident. There, one soldier from Japan, he lost. They were searching in China. Okay, the other side of the country, and China people fired on them. So there were some skirmishes, some sort of minor fights, and they are saying this incident also, it happened near Marco Polo bridge incident. It was also reason, but I would like to say Manchuria incident was a bigger incident, Germany attacking Manchuria in China. And then next thing is Germany invaded Poland, leading to Britain and France declaring war on Hitler's Nazi state in retaliation. Retaliation means responding. Then what were the two sides of the World War II? Axis and Allies. So what is the actually Axis in First World War? First World War, they are Central Powers. In Second World War, they are Axis. So Germany had a secret pact with Japan, secret pact with Italy. Later, three countries had a pact that they wanted to start a war like this. So it is not a accidental one. Hitler was well prepared for everything. Okay, the only thing was he was overconfident, and his greatest mistake in that World War II is starting Barbarossa, that is attacking Russia. Napoleon, greatest Napoleon, did not attack Russia because of harsh winters. Okay. And one more interesting thing with Hitler is he was attacked by his own military and own people almost 42 times. They wanted to kill him 42 times. So never think German people are, cruel people, or Japan people are cruel people. All these leaders are like that. You see, they wanted to kill him, assassinate him almost 42 times. 42 assassination attempts to kill him, to save themselves, to save the world. So, they tried their best. If you want to watch this, there is a movie, beautiful movie named Wal Kayar by Wal Kayar, Valkyre. This is by, actually Tom Cruise is the hero. Tom Cruise is the hero. Tom Cruise. Okay. For everything, because World War II is the very biggest event, that incident also, what is the Normandy War, you can watch great movie, I mean Stephen Spielberg movie, Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan. Okay. So, these are the countries, check it out. First, Japan, then Italy, then which is the other country? Germany. These are the Axis countries. Then here you have so many countries, but main important countries are USSR, United Kingdom, United States, then we have China to some extent. Okay. What are other countries? Where is France? We don't have France here. France is also there. Okay. These are very important countries. Okay. If you see here, United States, USSR, then United Kingdom, United States, France, okay, China. What do you see here combination? They are all permanent members in UNO. Can you see that? They are all permanent members, Security Council members in UNO. Okay. They did not take Germany because they caused world wars. Okay. So, let us then, what were the causes for the outburst of the Second World War? So, I already told you, policy of appeasement. Okay. Germany, I mean Great Britain as well as France wanted a strong Germany to counter attack communist USSR. One reason. Second reason, they were a little bit sympathetic towards Germany. They thought Versailles Treaty was so harsh. So, when Germany was remilitarizing, strengthening the military, occupying Rhineland, and then there was one more place known as Ruhrland. It was very famous for coal and other mineral resources. All were given to France. So, he was occupying all that, and then Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia, and he occupied Austria. Nothing happened. This is known as policy of appeasement, and France and Great Britain had to pay heavy price for that appeasement. And then Munich agreement, this is like a Munich agreement, as I told you, he was occupying Sudetenland. Then these people said, okay, you take it, but don't claim further. He said, I accept that, but later he occupied whole Czechoslovakia. So, that is related to Munich agreement, signed by leaders of Germany, British, France, Italy, agreed that Sudetenland would be returned to Germany. However, condition that no further territorial claims would be made by China, made by Germany. Did Germany stop with that? No. They occupied whole Czechoslovakia. Then, yeah, online students, Nazism and the rise of Hitler. Movie. Valkyrie. Okay. Then the League had no army. You try to understand League of Nations. Fiza Siddiqui, is that okay? Fiza Siddiqui, you want me to teach Nazism and the rise of Hitler? Okay, let me discuss little brief. Nazism and the rise of Hitler, the online student is asking. I would like to discuss that briefly. You know, before actually 1933, before Hitler came to power, there was a kind of a democracy. They called it a Weimar Republic. Weimar Republic. Lot of German people were not happy with the Weimar Republic. They thought they are the people who accepted a Versailles Treaty after First World War I. So the point is, they had no option. They had no option. They had to accept. Now Hitler actually he contested in elections. He got some seats. He did not get majority, but with the help of other people, he got majority. Coalition government. But once he started running coalition government, he became very powerful and very ambitious. He was very against communist people. Okay, and he even when communist people tried to assassinate him in the name of that, he even caused one fire accident in Reichstag. The parliament of Germany is known as Reichstag. So he even caused a fire accident. So then, with so many criminal incidents, he just rose in the ranks. He became actually chancellor. Then I told you 39 to 45, matter of 6 years, 6 years. And you know, Germany had very beautiful roads now, connectivity, because he wanted to prepare Germany for war. And those names are Autobahn roads, Autobahn. That means, that is the name of the roads. These roads are better than US and any other countries. The reason is, they are so good that there is no speed limit in those roads. No speed limit in those roads. He was concentrating more on connectivity, because he wanted even flights to go without a runway. That sort of roads. So whatever he did it for the sake of a war. And then the way he discriminated, caused Holocaust. Holocaust. He caused a Holocaust. He killed Jewish people. Almost 50 to 60 lakh people. He was against Polish people. He was against communist people. So there were concentration camps. That means all these people, he did not even like physically handicapped people, old people. You know why? They are not important for war. So he took all of them, even though they are German people, took all of them to concentration camps. In concentration camps, they used some poisonous gases. They call it gas chambers. So there, those people were killed by sending gas. So those people were kept naked in those chambers and sent poisonous gases. They were killed. And sometimes people were sent to ghettos. Ghettos were like slum areas. No access, no facilities, nothing. They used to die with diseases, unhygienic conditions. They used to die there. They were like ghettos. So Hitler did all sort of atrocities. One famous concentration camp was Auschwitz concentration camp. Many people died there. And as I told you, he used Poland as for his lab activities. That means they make one poisonous gas. They wanted to test it on Polish people. They make one weapon. They wanted to test it on Polish people. So, he used Poland as a lab for him. That is why I mean the kind of atrocities he has committed on Polish people is horrible, and Jewish people, and that is how now Jewish people are the greatest people on planet. The reason is they suffered, endured all these atrocities, and all the Jewish people throughout the world, they went to Israel, only one country. And now great superpower countries are taking, importing their weapons. Their agriculture is great, their water desalination is great, education is great, they are number one in all areas, Israel people, because they had that fire in their belly to develop as a nation. That country is not actually good, they do not have any natural resources, but they are very good at technology, education, agriculture, anything. So, because they have endured all these atrocities in Germany, and all Jewish people went to that country and they settled there. Okay. So, it is a very big topic, as Chandramohan told, that is a 9th class topic, rise of Hitler. So, but here we do not see World War from Hitler point of view. Of course, Hitler is very indispensable for World War II, but my point is we can see World War as a whole one, and it is a very important character or one important country. So, that is what I would like to discuss. Fijaz Siddiqui, I think that would help whatever you ask me. So, then League had no army. League means here League of Nations. League of Nations. League of Nations was a utter bluff. The reason is America did not join, and League of Nations had one condition, like Germany, some aggressive countries are there. They said, they asked other countries not to do business with them, not to do business with them. But it was a very tough time, depression was going on. Depression means in economy it is severe than recession. Recession is economic slowdown, depression means a very severe situation. You understand? Japanese people even further ruined that. You know why? They had to pay a lot of money to America, Paris, France and other countries. What they did is, they have printed fake money. They have printed fake money to give it to those countries. You know what happened? What happens when you print more money, when you mint more money, what happens? Inflation rises. Okay. There was a time in Germany, German people were not even using their currency to burn cash to make tea. Even that is waste of time for them, because that was the worth of German cash. So much inflation. But still Hitler was able to prepare that country for World War. That is astonishing. Okay. At that time, even stock market of USA collapsed. USA was going through rough phase. USA gave some loans to Germany. Okay. And they were asking more loans. US was not in a position to give loans. So, there are so much problems, so many problems throughout the world. Okay. We call it depression, economic depression. That is also one of the causes of World War. Then, unable to act quickly. See, League of Nations used to meet 4 times in a year, and they were not able to respond quickly to emergent situations like World War II. Okay. That was one of the other reasons, okay, for World War. Now, so, rise of Hitler, reunification of Germany. I have already discussed the rise of Hitler, okay, from 1933, how he rose. Okay. We have already discussed this. What is this? So, he became chancellor and he started remilitarizing, he started reoccupying all those lands, Rhineland, Sudetenland, all that, and he made pacts with Italy, Rome, and then he also pacts with Japan. Okay? So, this is what happened, and reunification of Germany. Okay. Hitler's next step was to begin taking back all that lands. Okay. I have discussed it in detail in the beginning itself. So, 6 months later, he demanded that Sudetenland region, Czechoslovakia, handed over to Germany. So, I discussed all that. Finally, German 1st September 1930 invaded Poland. That was the first incident according to many people, but many incidents took place before that. We have discussed those events also. Now, why did Axis powers lose war? Shortage of raw materials. So, here both Italy, Japan had to import supplies including Germany, short of rubber, cotton, nickel. Most of the times Japan was invading all these countries, Pacific Island countries, for the sake of oil, rubber, all this. Okay. And then they were short of all these supplies. Then Allies learned from their mistakes. I already told you, quickly Allies learned that this war belongs to skies. Air force is very important. You understand? You see Hiroshima, Nagasaki, that one incident, first Japan did not listen to the warnings. When 2 bombs were dropped, they said okay. Okay. Hirohito, that emperor, was so overconfident, but when 2 bombs were dropped, they said okay. So, that was the importance of, you see how London, Great Britain was saved. Great Britain's strength was navy, but they had to use, because Germany used air bombing. So, they have to attack that. So, 59 nights of bombing, it is something unprecedented, unbelievable, and how Great Britain was able to withstand that and then retaliate was something exemplary. And then combined sources of, you see, US and USSR were so big countries, and British Empire at that time was not a small island country. 20 lakh people were sent from India. You know, World War II took place in India also. Do you know that? Okay, near Burma, that borders. Okay, but very interestingly, it was Subhash Chandra Bose who brought World War to India. Do you know that? Subhash Chandra Bose saw India as British Empire. He wanted to liberate India. So, Subhash Chandra Bose, actually his contribution to freedom struggle was really great, hats off to him. When all these people were fighting for freedom inside the country, okay, he went to Japan, Germany, even Russia. He spoke to Stalin, he spoke to Hitler also. Okay. What is the reason? They were all, okay, enemies to Great Britain. Okay. So, what happens? Who is enemy? Great Britain is enemy to Germany, to even USSR also. They were afraid of communalism. Now, we are enemies to Britain at that time. That means we are fighting for freedom. So, enemy of the enemy will become friend. With that logic, he spoke to those dictators also. When people were afraid of talking to, okay, seeing dictators, he went and spoke with them. And he said, maybe this is good opportunity, Second World War. Okay, if that Japan army could defeat British Empire, then that will be end of British Empire, then they can give, we do not know, we can say maybe Japan could occupy India, that is a hypothetical incident, but he encouraged it. They also were very hungry with their imperialistic motives. They wanted to occupy as many territories as possible. So, in that northeastern states near Burma, but very interestingly, British people in India were able to retaliate and give tough competition. As a result, Japan retreated, it went back. Okay. So, India was also involved, particularly that northeastern states. Okay. And then serious tactical mistakes. I already told you Japan failed to learn importance of aircraft carriers, and then Hitler should have defeated Britain before invading USSR. Okay. So, that is a mistake they did in First World War I, because opening two fronts, you know, Japan is here, this is western front, this is eastern front, fighting both the fronts is not a good idea. So, when you are invading country like USSR, you need almost all your troops to be there. You cannot fight one war here and there and then go to USSR. So vast country, so many soldiers, and moreover the harshest weather. Okay. So, you should prepare very well for that sort of a Operation Barbarossa, but we know Hitler was overconfident. It is not that we are trying to advise Hitler, he could have done smashed the whole world, it is not like that. When you talk about tactical blunders, Operation Barbarossa, first of all, Operation Barbarossa was a mistake, and then going, okay, fighting western front and eastern front was another Himalayan blunder. So, he should not have done that. Then serious tactical mistakes, that is fatal mistake of attacking the US. This is another mistake. Who? Japan. Okay. Japan attacking the US. US was very happy, contented by supplying oil, arms, ammunition. It was doing business. It was a quintessential capitalistic country. I want money, you fight. Okay, I want money. It was happy with that, but they just triggered, okay, this incident, Pearl Harbor incident, and then they have shown what they are. Perhaps people are not aware of a atomic bomb. They were not aware of atomic bomb, and they paid heavy price for that. And till today, many people say that Japan, there is a lot of sympathy because some people are not aware of Pearl Harbor attack. They say America dropped atom bombs, killed so many people. There is a lot of sympathy there. Of course, that is a pathetic incident, miserable incident, but there is an incident reason for this is a Pearl Harbor attack. So, with the same movie, you can see, watch that movie, Pearl Harbor attack. Okay. Thank you, Fiza Siddiqui. So, here Nazi racial policy, you all know that I have already discussed world people, homosexuals, gypsies. Gypsies means those people never stay any place, they do not have any particular land and house, they will be wandering here and there. Gypsies, Jews, he did not spare those people, even Polish people, communist people, okay. And all these people in Russia and other countries, they became against who? Hitler. They are also unhappy with Stalin, so they would have supported him in Operation Barbarossa, but as he discriminated all these people, caused Holocaust. Another word, what is this? Holocaust means killing, mass killings. Okay. So, they were also against. Then final solution, actually this word is given by Nazi people. Final solution means killing the people. They also used the word cleansing. Cleansing, that means killing the people. Okay. And you have to understand one more word here, Lebensraum. Have you heard that? Lebensraum. Lebensraum means Hitler wanted more space for Aryan people, that is German people. That is why he always wanted that eastward expansion, territorial expansion, that Poland, that Russia, he wanted that territory all the time. Because he wanted all Germans, whether that is Czechoslovakia, Sudetenland, they are all German people are there. So, he wanted to occupy those countries. So, he wanted more space, that is known as, that theory is known as Lebensraum. Even Hitler believed in some kind of insane theories. He believed in Darwin's theory also, survival of the fittest. He thought that Aryans are fittest people, they will survive, rest should die. That was his theory. He was using science also, Darwin's theory in killing people. He kills people and he comes up with one bizarre explanation like Darwin's theory, that theory, this theory, all that. This Aryan theory also, that sort of a thing. In what way? He thinks only German people are superior people. Nobody knows. He brainwashed those German people. He was a big propagandist. That means he drummed the ears of the people by saying that I am the savior of Germany, I will create jobs, I will save the economy, I will make you number one country in the world. We will take revenge for what happened in First World War I, and this Versailles Treaty is unfair, embarrassing for us, and we want to show the country, the whole world what we are. Then the German people said, yes, you are the Messiah, you are the champion, so we will follow. So, he brainwashed the minds of the people. That is the job of a propagandist. So, he used to have huge gatherings, he used to talk like this. He was a great orator, fiery speeches, manipulation of minds of the people. When people were suffering due to depression, economic slowdown or depression, he was talking about war, revenge, all this, but people accepted at that time. But later, when they made 42 attempts, they also realized this man is a big problem to the country. So, they tried to assassinate. And this Walker movie is also one attempt, it is a failure attempt. He could not kill him. That in that movie, Tom Cruise had only one eye, he got only one eye. So, that was a very good movie. So, final solution is that when you take all the people, this Jewish people, Polish people, every one of them in gas chambers, concentration camps like Auschwitz, killing them, that is final solution or cleansing. There are fancy terms even now in when terrorists are killed, in newspapers, in news you see that 10 terrorists are being neutralized by the army. Here neutralized means killed. They are using different words. Hitler used those words long ago. You used all these different terms. You know why? At the end of World War, Nazi party supplied petrol to everybody. Petrol to everybody. You know why? To burn all the evidences of discrimination, Holocaust, all this. They know once they lose the war, there will be another treaty like Versailles Treaty, they have to face the problems. After Second World War, in Nuremberg, in a famous city in Germany, Nuremberg, 12 Nazi leaders were sentenced to death. So, that is the reason why they supplied petrol. They asked them to burn all the documents. You see, there may be some government orders, you take those people, take them to concentration camps, kill them like that. That is why they did not use the word kill. To escape from future punishment, in case if they lose the war, the world community will come, they will try to give judgment. All the trials took place in Nuremberg city in Germany. So, he wanted to wipe out the evidence of war crimes or even Holocaust. Okay. So, few people survived, a few people they wrote books. So many movies, so many books on World War II. So, those people, there are some people, I do not want to live. I mean, actually this is the situation, but there is one hope. The reason I want to live is, first he said they do not want to live because of the conditions, but still they want to live. The reason is, I want to tell the stories to the outside world, so that they will give punishment. Okay. There are many people who wanted to live only to tell the stories of atrocities committed, heinous crimes committed by Hitler. They wanted to tell the stories to the world. That was a kind of a crimes he committed. Yeah, Fiji, vagabond, see, vagabond can be used for anybody who wanders aimlessly, but gypsies, they do not have land, they do not have land, they do not have a house. Okay. So, even a very civilized person with so much money can be a vagabond, but a gypsy is somebody who does not have land, neither land nor house. So, that is their way of life, this way of life. But vagabond may go anywhere, wander everywhere, then he comes home, that is aimless wandering, that is different. Is that clear, Fija, Siddiqui? Then, how did the First World War lead to Second World War? We have already discussed First World War, Versailles Treaty, all that. Huh? So, do you want me to discuss that again? Okay. The desire for revenge, greater power caused Hitler to do things like taking Czechoslovakia, eventually invading Poland. Okay. We discussed Versailles Treaty. Versailles Treaty, they said no air force. Okay. And then only 6 ships, no submarines. Okay. Only 1 lakh soldiers, and then $6,600 million of reparations, so much territorial loss. All these are results of a Versailles Treaty. Germany paid up to 2010. That was astonishing fact. Okay. Then how did the Treaty of Versailles lead to Second World War? We have already discussed main terms of treaty. Okay. War guilt. Who is guilty of war? Germany. There are other people. Austria is also reason. Many other countries. Okay. I mean, Second World War. Talking about First World War. That in Second World War, see, Germany is reason. Russia is reason for appeasement policy. Great Britain and France also reason. Okay. Japan is a important reason. So, many reasons, but the punishment is only given to Germany, whether it is First World War or Second World War. Then damages, Allies demanded 33 billion in damages. Then economic devastation drove Germany government in the ground, that it is not the fault of the government, it was the fault of the treaty. Okay. Then territorial losses, Germany lost so many territories, and then losing the territories contributed to the crash of German economy. They resented allies for causing the collapse of a economy. Okay. Then disarmament, generally was only allowed to have small army, naval ships. These are all the Versailles Treaty, okay, terms. So wrapping up, economy collapsed, government lost, military was weak, then Germans were angry. So online students, I discussed all these points earlier. So I am just trying to go little fast, because I do not want to repeat the same thing. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Then results of aftermath of World War II. So now this is very important. For your exam point of view, they ask what are the outcomes of a war. Causes is important, events are important, outcomes are also important. So outcomes. Now, after the end of the war, a conference was held in Potsdam, Germany to set up peace treaties. Okay. Countries that fought Hitler, lost territory, had to pay reparations. So I think you all know reparation is a money to be paid for causing war, reparations. So now Germany and capital. See, Germany was divided into East Germany and West Germany. Capital was also divided into East Berlin, West Berlin. So these four countries, Britain, United States, France, Soviet Union, all of them shared whole country as well as Berlin. These are the times where Cold War was started. Cold War started at that time, because Soviet Union, USSR, was a communist country. Then Great Britain, United States, France, they all occupied half of the country. So these people, West Germany people, were under allies. Allies are democratic people. Russian people, Russian USSR, East Germany was communist country. People were afraid of staying in East Germany. They are all coming to West Germany. Same thing happened in Berlin also, capital city also. That is why these people, USSR, they have built a wall, which is known as Berlin Wall. A big wall was built to stop the immigration from East Germany to West Germany. There USSR wanted to drive away all these countries, from Germany. That fight is what is known as Cold War. Cold War is not a war, it is a competition between USA and USSR, whether it is a space, arms, anything, technology, anything, they fought. At that time USSR was very strong and US also. Then they actually divided the whole world also, because they wanted some countries, either you join that gang or this gang, two factions. So they divided the whole world. Country like India always remained neutral. Although Russia is close for us, we never officially supported any country in Cold War. So that is a Cold War. And as I told you, in 1991-92, because of Russia disintegration, Russia divided into 15 countries. Russia, not Russia, USSR was divided into Russia and 15 independent countries. Then USSR domination came to end. Then the three Western allies and the Soviet Union disagreed on many things. Germany was divided into two separate countries, East West Germany, same way Berlin also. This is the biggest outcome of World War. Same thing happened with Japan. America and its allies, they went and occupied Japan. And you know, Japan got its independence, that means these people left, allies left in 1952. Okay, all allies left in 1952. You know, the reason is allied countries were so suspicious. These people started World War and they may be embarrassed, they may be full of resentment and revenge. They may start war again. That is why allied countries wanted to stay there for so many years until they got that belief, okay, these people will never start war again, at least not in near future. Then they left. So, it happened in 1952 for Japan. So, Austria was also occupied by 4 allies, because in Second World War Hitler took Austria very easily, no resistance, no war, no bloodshed. So, now Austria was also occupied. Then the division of Europe was the beginning of Cold War between democratic nations of the West and communist countries in Europe. So, we have already discussed that. After the war, many Nazi leaders were arrested, punished for what they have done in war. I told you specifically 12 members. 12 members of Nazi party were sentenced to death, top leadership. Already first number 1, number 2 committed suicide. Some people even say Hitler did not commit suicide. I do not want to tell you that, it may be some conspiracy theory. I will tell you, but do not write in exam. Some people say that he committed suicide, he kept one lady's dead body or something, okay, and it was not recognizable. So, they thought it was a Hitler and his wife. I mean, he has love interest also, Hitler. Her name is Eva Braun. So, both committed suicide. So, some people say Hitler and his wife should be there. So, some people say there were 2 lady dead bodies. Where is Hitler? They thought he escaped to Caribbean islands and there is no trace of him. He might have died there naturally. Conspiracy theories, but it is not meant for civil services, this conspiracy theory. Okay. So, no proof for that. And Russians also did not reveal that matter. The reason is if they say that Hitler did not commit suicide, it is a prestige issue for Russia. It is a big achievement for Russian people, I mean USSR at that time, because causing Hitler commit suicide was great achievement for them. So, if other world come to know that Hitler did not commit suicide, it will be embarrassing for them. That is why people say they did not reveal, but that is not the version needed for UPSC civil services. So, just a conspiracy theory, we cannot say anything about that. Then enormous destruction, almost 40 million people were killed, okay? Then 20 million had been uprooted. The Holocaust, this is what I saw, killing of Jews. So, 50 to 60 lakh people were killed. There was all inclusive peace settlement. Distrust between USSR and West made the agreement on various points impossible. So, from here afterwards USSR versus Western countries. Western countries are always suspicious of Russian communalism. Okay. So, there is one more problem there. Then war led to important social changes. Okay. One interesting social change I would like to tell you is the population, male population decreased. Most of the soldiers who participated in war were male population, particularly Europe, male population reduced. And then people were forced to leave homes, millions of people, they left homes. Then 10 million Germans were forced to leave their homes from East Germany to West. I told you why. They all were scared of a communist USSR. Then in countries such USSR and Germany, extensive rebuilding took place. Most of the cities were ruined, so that rebuilding took place. Then war led to production of nuclear weapons. Whole world saw how powerful atomic bombs are. Then all the countries started, what is more powerful than atomic bombs? Nuclear bombs. So they all started making nuclear bombs. So the race for nuclear bombs started. But I would like to tell you one interesting thing. Nuclear bombs are also very important for the peace of this country, I mean whole world. Do you know why? Because Siddiqui, I just want to tell you one thing. I told you that is a conspiracy theory. Okay? The theory you have to write is that Hitler committed suicide for civil services. This is one conspiracy theory, only for the sake of information. So please don't write in exams. Okay? I think you understand that. That's a conspiracy theory. There is no evidence for that. But whatever I read in many resources, okay, those people told that. So Hitler might have faked it. There were 2 female dead bodies. So, but that is not meant for exam point of view. Okay. The war led to the production of nuclear weapons. So in one way, nuclear weapons, when big countries have nuclear weapons, people will be afraid of those nuclear weapons. So sometimes nuclear weapons can create peaceful atmosphere, that if I go to war, he may drop nuclear bomb, I may have to drop nuclear bomb. It will be collateral damage, destruction. That is why the reason why India and Pakistan don't have wars after that, the reason is after Kargil, because we all are nuclear countries. So once war may escalate, you see how war escalated World War I and II, they never thought of fighting for 6 years and 4 years, but it just escalated like that. So if you start India-Pakistan war also, it may escalate into nuclear warfare, then both the countries have to lose. That fear is preventing the countries from going to full-fledged, full-blown war. So you can say nuclear weapons sometimes can create a peace among the countries. That is one of the causes. Yeah, nuclear deterrent is also reason. Mohak Sharma, that is correct. Nuclear deterrent means some countries, okay, they say we will not use nuclear bomb first. Okay. That means for the sake of peace and welfare of the whole, they say that we won't use nuclear deterrent. So that is also one of the reasons. One online student is discussing. That's correct, Mohak Sharma. And then the war led to production of nuclear weapons. I have already discussed. Then countries like Great Britain, France, Italy, Germany, all these countries, they became bankrupt. Bankrupt means they became pauper. Economy collapsed. You know, before World War II, Great Britain was a superpower with so many colonies. Immediately after World War, 1945, we got 1947 freedom. India was the first Asian country, major Asian country to get freedom. Like that, it had to give freedom to many countries. So the power of Great Britain has come down drastically. Not only Great Britain, many colonial powers had to give freedom to their colonies. So you can say colonialism also started ending after World War II. Very important development. very important development. Of course, for us the reason for freedom is, I will tell you one interesting statement. Clem Attlee came to India once. I do not remember, he was talking to some judge or some governor of Calcutta, Indian judge or somebody. So, that guy asked to what extent Gandhiji was responsible for India's freedom, and he said he is minimal. What he said is, it is the disloyalty of soldiers and to some extent Subhash Chandra Bose. He started one more army, Azad Hindu Fauj, and there was no loyalty in British soldiers, because Indian soldiers were not loyal to British people. Earlier they were loyal. That disloyalty alarmed British people. And I would like to add one more thing. Clem Attlee, Prime Minister of Great Britain, was in favor of giving freedom to India. He is the one who spoke that the reason is Subhash Chandra Bose and disloyalty of Indian soldiers. He himself told. We can say Clem Attlee was also, because the reason is Churchill was very much against India, Winston Churchill. When lot of people died in West Bengal, famine, some people told him people died here due to famine. It was engineered by British people. In World War, they wanted lot of food and material, everything. They took everything from India, imported to Great Britain. They funded their World War with our people and our money and our food. So, here they created a famine. So many people died. Some people call it is like equal to Hitler's Holocaust. Many people died. Then when people asked him, informed him, he said, why didn't Mr. Gandhi die? This is his statement. They used to pronounce Gandhi as Gandhi. So, when people said many people died in West Bengal, instead of showing sympathy or trying to solve the problem, he said, why didn't Gandhi die? So, Churchill was not good, he was not at all in favor of India, but Clem Attlee was done. He told these are the two reasons. Okay. This is not a conspiracy theory, this is true. This is what Clem Attlee told. Then, Britain, although seemed strong and victorious, cost of war left it in ruins. Certainly, Britain has lost its superpower status. It is the pendulum swung in favor of USA now. It is now USA versus USSR. Okay. World War III will happen. That is a hypothetical question, but my point is, do not again take me wrong, World War III already took place from UNO point of view, but people do not think that is, if 5 or more countries involved in war, that is World War. According to UNO, the Syrian war that took place, more than 5 countries participated, already World War III took place, but people do not consider that is a World War III. So, it may happen, if it happens, I will tell you it may happen because of China and Russia. I can't tell you whether it happens or not, that is a hypothetical question, but if it happens because of China and Russia. So, those two countries are going against the order of the country, order of the world. They are too belligerent, they have a lot of thirst for a territorial expansion. Vladimir Putin lost all that 15 countries, not Putin, USSR. Now, he wants to occupy all those countries. And China, I think, I do not remember exact number, they have 13-14 countries as neighboring countries, and they have territorial disputes with all of them. All of them. Here India is scratching its head just with Pakistan and China, do not know how China is able to manage our territorial disputes. So, they have a lot of hunger for a territorial expansion. So, if it happens, it may happen because of China and Russia, again you can see that communalism, communal dictatorship. Other thing is they do not have democracy, they are the presidents, they are the premiers lifetime. China premier, lifetime he is premier. And Vladimir Putin, already since I was a student in school, he has been president or prime minister. Okay. So, now when you are a democratic country, you are afraid of losing elections because of war and or something else. They do not have that sort of apprehensions. They are heads of the country lifetime until they die. So, that is very much important congenial atmosphere to start wars. They do whatever they want. So, it may happen because of them. Chandra Mohan, I think my answer satisfies you, but I clearly cannot say when it happens. I think you understand, but it happens, if at all happens, it will happen because of China and Russia. I think time is up. We try to resume this class tomorrow. I thought of finishing it up, but I couldn't because we had some technical problems in the beginning. But we try to wrap it up tomorrow as soon as possible. Okay? And we still have one unfinished business, that is feudalism, colonialism, imperialism. I completed feudalism, but I would like to use that piece of topic whenever we have half an hour, like 40 minutes time, I would like to use that one. So, that is why I did not discuss that one. So, we need to discuss imperialism and colonialism, and then after that we will discuss another revolution, but it is not actual revolution with bloodshed, it is industrial revolution. It also very important event in the world history. It changed the course of history. Because of that colonialism started, because of colonialism world war started. So, lot of link between all this. So, we will discuss all that. Online students, no one can even imagine what happened after that, sir. I do not understand, Chandra Mohan. No one can imagine what happened after that. That means, are you talking about that World War III? Yeah, we cannot imagine, but I still feel those are the two belligerent countries. Okay? Belligerent means very aggressive, war-monging countries. Okay? So, thank you. Chandra Mohan, you want to ask anything? Yeah, okay then. Thank you.